A lot of people get confused about the difference between audio parts and audio events. I went through this in level 2 of this series, but let's brush up on it quickly. Consider the audio events as raw audio files sitting on the project page. The giveaway that something is an event is that when you click on them, they have little squares and triangles along the top for setting fade in and volume level. Parts are containers for events. Think of them as boxes that events can go into. Parts are great for helping you group things together so that you can move them around more easily. For example, let's say you have a bunch of audio events on one track. You can group them into a part by selecting Events to Part from the Audio menu. There are a few other ways to create parts. One is to glue events together with the Glue tool. You can also draw in a part with the Draw tool. Now that we've created a part, let's open it up. At the top of the window, you can see all of the tools in the toolbar. You can right-click to add or remove items here. If the Solo Editor button is activated and you start playback, you will only hear what you see in this editor. The next button is the Show Info Line button. The info line appears here. When you click on an audio event, you can see all of its settings: file, description, start, end, length, etc. The tool buttons are next. These were explained in the previous levels of this video series, except for this button here, Time Warp. This is explained in the chapter entitled Time Warp in this level. Next is Preview. This is to audition the audio events in this editor. When you click on an event and then press the Audition button, it plays that audio event. If you have the audition loop on, it will loop to that event. You can set the volume level for the audition here. The part list section is next. This is useful if you have selected multiple parts in the project page and then opened the part editor. You can use this drop-down to switch between the parts. Clicking the Show Part Borders button allows you to see the defined border for the active part. If you change the borders in this window, they're instantly changed on the project page. Now let's talk about Edit Active Part only. Let's say you're going to move this audio event around inside this part. When you move it past its borders, this window pops up asking us if we want to enlarge the part, meaning enlarge the part borders. What if we move this part up to the first track, then move the first event over to the second part? Now the event is in the second part and not in the first one anymore. This is what Edit Active Part Only will prevent. When we turn it on and drag it over the second part, it actually expands the first part all the way over here. The rest of the options were already discussed in the previous videos in this series, except for Color Scheme. The Color Scheme lets you pick colors for each separate event. Just select the event and then pick a color. The last thing we're going to talk about is lanes. You can have different lanes in the part editor. Only one lane can play at a time, but it makes things easier when you're editing a complex part. You can move this audio file down, and a lane will automatically be created. And that's it for the part editor.